Hello everybody and welcome to Masu Pro Wrestling presents As Good as Gold. Tonight will be one of those historic MPW nights. And we're starting off the grand stage with MamaInu to take on the first match of the night. Our non-title, our non-title match, singles Idol Division one-on-one contest. And I mean, speaking of grand stages and historic people, we're talking about MamaInu. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would say probably one of the people that have been on the most premium live events such as this, and probably the person who got the most premium live events in at least season 1. So we're going to see MamaInu had a little bit of a tough ride to this this premium live event, but now she's here to start us off the show. A position she's not unfamiliar with, but maybe a position she'd rather not be in, because we all know that MamaInu would rather be in title contention, but unfortunately she's not here tonight. As in our main event, Rize, the longest reigning Idol Division champion of all time, will be defending her championship. Sorry, I'm going through my notes. I might not be in the right notes. And we will have FlairZero defending the Icon Division championship. Speaking of contenders for the Idol Division Championship, here we go. Here are my notes. We have Rocky coming in. Rocky was in the triple threat to determine the #1 contender for the Idol Division Championship against both Blueness and Ayasu, but unfortunately was not able to come up on top. Sort of the, I would say the dark horse maybe of the match. The underdog of the match would be Blueness, who came out on top in that match, was able to pick up the win in sort of an unexpected way. I think Blueness, she just captured the opportunity right as a point where nobody was expecting it to, caught the people slacking, and was able to pick up a massive win. Blueness's first ever Idol Division Championship will be held in the main event tonight. We're going back into some faction warfare with that, as Blueness and Rize will go one-on-one. The Shogunate versus the Coalition, but right now we have the Wandering Dragon, Rocky, going up against the veteran Shiba that is MamaInu. MamaInu didn't make it very far in the #1 contenders tournament, actually losing to Ayasu, who would make it to the very end, I should say. I don't want to say make it all the way, but MamaInu has not had some luck at capturing any sort of championships, and some people are questioning her abilities to perform in the ring. We'll have to see how MamaInu takes those criticisms. I imagine she's not the type to focus heavily on other people's opinion of herself, but you have to think after a certain point those thoughts seep into your head of, am I good enough to be here? Because there are so many people, not only younger than you, but hungrier than you, that want this position. Sliding knee strike doesn't quite connect as MamaInu grabs Rocky by the horns. I think there's a saying about that somewhere. And an elbow drop for MamaInu. And a second one, just making sure that it is well known, and MamaInu is going up top, off the top rope double axe handle. Does connect on the outside. Of course, the referee is going to count. Referee's discretion, of course, on how fast they count. But they have till the count of 10 to get back in the ring, and if they don't, they will be disqualified, as they battle in front of the French-Canadian commentators table in the unmanned Spanish announce team's commentator table. Ooh, bashing that kneecap right onto the concrete as these two continue to assault each other on the outside of the ring. MamaInu makes it back in following Rocky, ducks that slap, that dangerous slap from Rocky. I don't know if anybody quite gives the as painful chop, sorry. I don't know if anyone can finish a sentence as poorly as I did, but someone that can land that powerful chops that Rocky does. I don't think anyone's on par. Goes for the DDT. Rocky punching out of it. We will say, right as I say, a slap to the left ear, back elbow. I must say, Rocky did have one of the most impressive #1 contender tournament match wins to get into the finals. Leg drop from the sky, guillotine style, and covers MamaInu for a 1-2. Only a 2 count this early, but a very telling 2 count. Rocky beat Usaino very, very quickly in the semifinals, if you will, before the finals. In a swift encounter, the newly crowned, might I say, openweight champion, Usaino. So to see Rocky come into that finals and not be able, right as I said that, the slap from Rocky, sending MamaInu to order it, but the shock for oh my god, super kick. I'm sorry, I love you from MamaInu. 1, 2, kick out of 2, nearly stealing it. You can't blink for a second or else you might miss something. But to finish my sentence, the shock of Rocky not coming in there and picking up the win as effectively as they did. Choke slam. MamaInu's back up, but ducks something. Ducks the grab. Blocks the right hand. MamaInu kicking back and forth, and a right hand directly to Rocky's face. Old tricks once again. Or for the first time in this match, but once again in her career. 2 count and nearly taking it. I mean, a win over someone like Rocky right now is going to put stock behind your name, wind in your sails, momentum in your corner. Big splash, but nobody was home. And that knee strike right to the chin. Goes for that. The dropping knee handsprings doesn't quite connect. Nobody was home. Another left-handed slap to MamaInu, sending MamaInu to the corner. No, deciding to hold on to that Irish whip, pull her back into it. Now busting MamaInu open with the boot. Gonna make sure she gets the other side, or they get the other side. Rocky eyeing MamaInu. Blood in the water. Lost and found in the center of the ring. Rocky for the win. 2 count. MamaInu stays alive, but for how much longer? MamaInu, forearm kip up, still got some fire left in her. That is the fire only someone that's raised pups can have. Sending Rocky, putting the Rocky in the Tree of Woe position. In the corner, you got nowhere to go when you're in this position. Except back down onto the mat. Rocky expertly rolling out of the ring, wanting to get some space. And now MamaInu playing a little bit of cat and mouse. Or just delirious from the strikes to the head. Out of the corner and tossing them. And Rocky thinks it might be enough. Maybe Rocky sees that delirium. Kick out of 2. And Rocky just scooping him. Up off the ground. Choking out MamaInu. It looks like MamaInu might have used up all of that energy. And Rocky is taking complete advantage of an elbow drop. MamaInu's back up. Spins Rocky around. For some old tricks again. Right as I say it. Right as I say she doesn't have the energy. She puts away Rocky. No! Kick out at 2. Rocky barely kicking out. MamaInu's got to think quickly, though. Can't let Rocky get any sort of momentum back. Discus punch. Needlessly spinning around. I don't know if that's going to help MamaInu's delirium or dizziness. Flying fist. Once again, going to the high rent district hasn't worked out for MamaInu. Pulling at the back of the neck and just sending a fist right through the heart of MamaInu, choking her out again. The brutality of Rocky. As Rocky goes back up, elbow drop this time. Connecting. And Rocky thinks it's over. 2, 3, and it is. The miscalculations from MamaInu ended up costing her the match. Going up top. And Rocky once again proving that they are still very much capable of picking up these wins. I mean, the triple threat could have been the problem. If it was a 1v1 for the #1 contenders, we could be looking at the #1 contender right now, but unfortunately, when it comes to MPW, you have to be prepared for anything. And Rocky was not prepared for Blueness to steal the win right from under them, as we will move on to the MPW Openweight Championship match tonight. Let's check it out. The first of many title matches here tonight at Good as Gold. This is the Openweight Championship, where the challenger is randomly selected from either division to challenge in a Falls Count Anywhere Anything Goes match. Who has been selected for Usaino's Openweight Championship? And when you talk about the Openweight Championship, this man's name is not far behind it. Gaelic Angel, the first ever Openweight champion in MPW. Not only that, the first 2-time Openweight champion in history, holding the title for a total of 25 days across his 2 title reigns. So he's here for a short time, not a long time, but Gaelic Angel is looking for another chance at the Openweight Championship against Usaino, who has recently been crowned the new Openweight champion. Taking it away from MintyClovers. The first ever championship Usaino has ever held in MPW history. The Openweight Championship. Can they defend it? I mean, this is something that is not an easy championship to defend. It's defended 2 times as many times as any world championship and 4 times as many times as the tag team championship. It is called the Blue Chipper Championship for a reason. And Usaino has it around their neck. The Gore Bunny, MPW's own Bunny Bean. The first time they have held the Openweight Championship and the first time they've held a championship in MPW. They say the first defense is the hardest. Can Usaino get through it? Because out of the people that have defended the championship at least one time, 4 of them have been able to hold it past the first title defense. Only 5 have held it one time, or have only had 1 defense, and 5 of them has held it, but have defended it 0 times successfully. Angel has not been able to defend the Openweight Championship before, so could it be a thing of easier to capture than defend? But I know Usaino has been waiting for a championship, been pining, been hungry for a championship. And this sort of brutal style of match, I think, leans into Usaino's new persona, new state of mind, the Falls Count Anywhere Anything Goes, allowing you to use any weapon you want, any foreign object in the MPW arena, and pinning or submitting your opponent, even outside the ring, allows for you to basically get away with anything you want. And I think that's something that Usaino can just let loose in an openweight championship match. They are not unfamiliar with the false count anywhere rules, though they haven't always been successful. And to go up against someone like Gaelic Angel, who truly and undoubtedly, at certain occasions, doesn't seem like he cares for his physical well-being when it comes to these matches, willing to put himself on the line, him and his body on the line. This is really a toss-up for who is going to come out on top here for the Openweight Championship. If Angel can pick up this win, Angel will be the first ever 3-time Openweight champion in history. The last championship we saw Angel have around his waist was the Icon Division Championship back at Not a Christmas Show, which I believe is at least 10 weeks ago. Over 10 weeks ago. It would have been 15 weeks ago. So a good time since Angel has held a championship. And I think the first time Angel will hold this championship with his new look. With his whole, his Season 2 change. Both of these two have changed drastically from Season 1, Season 2. How will that affect them going into this match? And how... And who will use what to their advantage to pick up a win? As I say that, though, inverted DDT from off the ropes by Usaino. Usaino, this match, of course, you can pin or submit your opponents on the outside of the ring, but Usaino almost wants to stay in the ring because they use the ropes to their advantage. They can bounce off any of the ropes from the turnbuckle to the top rope. Like I say that immediately, Usaino maybe wants to try and keep this match inside the ring for as much as possible. Maybe only going to the outside to inflict a certain amount of damage, nearly taking it. I mean, Usaino had a really quick championship win, maybe even one of the most quick championship wins we've ever seen. Nearly defending the title just as quickly. Angel's back up and bouncing Usaino. Mouth first off the knee. And going for a DDT of his own. I will say bumps him. I will say Angel is very, very familiar with going over the top rope and using his body as a human catapult. Over the knee of Usaino this time to Angel. Angel's back up as they both make it to the outside. Anything can happen on the outside, and it's just as dangerous. Sit down, power bomb to Usaino, and a DDT on the floor. Usaino, though, kip up. It's like the pain is fueling them. Back up to the knee again, busting Usaino open. That didn't go all too well for MamaInu. Power bomb on that again, man. Oh my god, onto the apron. Bouncing the back of Usaino's head onto the apron, the hardest part of the ring. Usaino doesn't even look like they care, though, sending Angel into the ring. Kendo stick in hand. Angel wants to knock that out of Usaino's hands quickly. Gets them up for the potential to fall from grace. Usaino slips out of it. Snapmare off the ropes. Kicks them in the side of the head. The kendo stick. Everything is legal as they whack it across. Angel's back once again. Just turning. Angel foolishly turning his back to Usaino. And Usaino thinks maybe that's enough damage to be dealt. 2 count. The red marks and welts that Angel will have on his back in the morning from those kendo stick shots. Angel's back up, but a facebuster from Usaino. Usaino slowly Getting to one knee, maybe running out of energy already, maybe putting the foot on the gas too much. Standing Spanish fly, potentially? Angel had it countered. Ducks the punch, delivers their own. Rocks Angel again for a second facebuster, busting Angel open. It looks like the right side of Angel's forehead has got a huge gash. But it wouldn't be one of Angel's matches without him bleeding. Usaino is looking to go up top, but maybe taking too much time as Angel gets that right hand, nearly rocking him off. But Usaino does go up and over Angel. Yeah, look at the blood gushing from the right side of Angel. Usaino's back up top. Body stomp, maybe what they wanted to do originally, but nobody was home, landing on their feet. Angel sending Usaino off the ropes. Ducks under. Spinning heel kick. Knocks them down. Kip up right into the two hands of Angel. Clothesline. Takes them down once more. Angel fired up. The eyes rolling to the back of the skull. Kick out at 2. Angel is running on complete fumes right now. Absolutely on autopilot. Neck breaker. Trying to slow the pace of the match down slightly. Maybe looking for the kendo stick. Usaino tries to drop kick from the ring, but a little bit miscalculation there. Trade of blows. Once again, Angel trying to slow down the pace of the match just ever so slightly. Some rib punches. Body shots by Usaino as Angel sends Usaino up and over. Wants that kendo stick. Of course, they can be outside here as long as they want, and they are not safe on the outside of the ring. As Usaino is getting their lashes, I don't know. Shitty little splash. Lashes and splashes and pashes. Angel's looking for something but a jawbreaker reversal by Usaino. Ooh, face first into the splinters of the kendo stick. Probably cutting up the blood even more. Down the rabbit hole by Usaino. Hooks the leg. 1, 2. No, kick out of 2. Angel kicking out at 2. Usaino now just punishing the back and the spine of Angel. What is it going to take to put him away? Angel back up on his feet. Drop kick. And a Pele kick from Usaino. A Pele kick. Catching Angel off guard maybe, but the ref is so out of position that it's a 0 count. That is definitely the referee's fault. I have no idea what the ref was doing there. But as they say, referees win and lose you championships. And speaking of championships, the Openweight Championship might just be defended here. Usaino caught off guard. Angel back up on his feet. I think Usaino was looking for the bunny stomp. Kick out at 1 by Usaino. Maybe not taken too kindly to the 0 count this early into the or this late into the match. Fall from grace. The blood drenching Angel's face. Angel might be feeling it. Well, maybe not. He thinks I mean, it's not like Angel to not risk his life, but maybe thinking against it. Gonna take his time on the outside. I mean, you don't want to miscalculate your jump, maybe cost yourself the match. Angel has Usaino up for a something. I don't know what you would call them, but landing directly on the face. Usaino kicks out at 2 on the concrete as well. Booty popping moonsault. Nobody's home, shooting the pain down the chest of Angel. Spinning back kick, drop kick doesn't knock down Usaino. The force of the bunny. Speaking of the bunny, down the rabbit hole again on the concrete. Usaino to retain. 1, 2, 3. Usaino retains the Openweight Championship. Whether it was the ref's negligence or not, Usaino still retains the championship. Bloodied and battered, the bunny beats Angel. Blood dripping from their face and mouth. As we will move on to the next match of the night. We will see you guys there as Usaino's Openweight Championship reign continues. It is time for the Tag Team Championship match between the first Tag Team Champions and the #1 contenders. These two fought through a war to get to this point, beating Glitchy and FlairZero, excuse my paper sounds, for the #1 contendership. It is Bonk and Dragthulu, the #1 contenders. I mean, they had a very, very powerful win for the #1 contendership. Bonk and Drag. Bonk and Drag fought through some tough matches. They fought... I'm trying to get up all of the matches and saying this, but it's not helping me. They beat MintyClovers and Sleepy and Flair and Glitchy to get to this point, to get this #1 contendership. And I mean, these two have had some very tough matches to go up against, and they have, I don't want to say dominated, but more or less dominated the opponents. They have been taking the tag team division by storm, as well as they've already done basically everything you can in singles competition. They have become the Openweight champion. They've become the Icon Division champion. This is the one chance they have to be tag team champions so far in their career. And if they become tag team champions, I feel like they could be one of the most dominant tag team champions in history. But speaking of the current tag team champions, the first ever tag team champions who have already defended the championship one time, it is none other than Emrys Morgana and her creation, her beast, her trophy, MintyClovers, the tag team of La Primera. Emrys Morgana and MintyClovers. I mean, if there's anyone that can match Bonk's power, it is undoubtedly MintyClovers. With the cybernetic enhancements and a little bit of green dust in there, you never know what MintyClovers is quite made of. MintyClovers, and of course, MintyClovers is the body of the snake as much as Emrys Morgana is the head controlling it. You do not want to underestimate Emrys. I know when you look at Team La Primera, you're gonna see MintyClovers and you're gonna think MintyClovers is the threat. You have to focus MintyClovers down, but Emrys Morgana, 9 times out of 10, has MintyClovers wear down her opponents just to inflict the hemlock and make them tap. MintyClovers is terrifying. MintyClovers is the reason I have my own booth. Is one of the reasons I have my own booth and I'm not down there with the French-Canadian commentators table. But when it comes to conniving, cheating, or doing anything it takes to win, that is Emrys Morgana's MO, and she's gonna do whatever it takes to win without having any sort of issues with herself, you know? So the boys have gotta focus. They gotta understand that if you chop the head off of the snake will die. Emrys Morgana is the leader, and if they can focus that and figure that out, they can. But also, I know someone like Bonk might be a little bit stubborn, sees a tough opponent in front of him. His Super Nan DNA is not going to allow him to turn around and not take on that challenge full strength to test his own. The Tag Team Championship is only defended twice, or once every 2 PLEs. The referee showing them what it's all about, the Tag Team Championship on the line. Of course, this match is in Tornado Tag rules. You're allowed to use any weapons you want, and you have to fight each other. Oh, clothesline by MintyClovers. Dragthulu taking it to Emrys Morgana. I mean, I do say maybe you want to focus down someone like Emrys. You can't let MintyClovers get away with whatever they want. But if you both can just handle your opponents together, you know, that will work. We did see some interesting strategies between... Oh, backstabber by Dragthulu. We did see some interesting teamwork between Dragthulu and Bonk, where they were taking one of their opponents away from the other person, isolating them so that they could work 2-on-1. We might be seeing that later or at some point in this match as well. We'll have to see how they do. Half and half by Bonk to Emrys. There can only be one first ever champion, but of course, at the same breath, there can only be one, or there will be one person to take out the first ever champion, the first person to dethrone the first ever champion. We know that Bonk and Dragthulu want to be that person. Dragthulu in the powerbomb into the barricade. Shoulders first as Emrys is trying to wear down Bonk with a submission hold on the legs. MintyClovers covering Dragthulu, 2 count. A near fall. Of course, falls count anywhere for this tag team match. Bonk sending Emrys into the ring, maybe looking for that 2-on-1, but MintyClovers had it scouted. Big boot, and now gonna look for the equalizer. The steel chair, cross arm breaker. Trying to pull the cybernetics from the arm of MintyClovers. Emrys breaks it up. The arm breaker bumps him. And another suplex, a big boot by MintyClovers. You don't want to look away for a second, or you might miss something in this match. Sending MintyClovers into the solid gold steel steps. MintyClovers and Dragthulu fighting on the other side of the ring. Suplex on the floor as Bonk throws Emrys Morgana into the French-Canadian commentator's table. Butterfly takeover. Drag's looking for something under the ring. Is that a bat? He does have the bat, and now Bonk running to MintyClovers. What is MintyClovers? Got a table. Emrys sliding the knees out from under Bonk. MintyClovers wants all the toys. Going for the bat. Wasting a bit of time, though. Dragthulu has MintyClovers in the powerbomb. Gonna give a taste of her own medicine. Shoulder blades in the barricade. Of course, when you have as much time as you want on the outside, you can use the barricade as a weapon to your heart's content. The bat in Dragthulu's hand. The hubris, though, of both these two. Not using it fast enough, sending him into the corner, into the MPW logo that's just a W for some reason. Fireman's carry. Drops Emrys face first. That's been a problem with the printing company. Bonk noticing that his teammate is down. Kick out at 0, a little bit slow, but Bonk would have saved him either way. Emrys takes the legs down again. Working over Bonk. Dude, the 2-on-1 to Drag. Emrys using their wrestling prowess to just take them down. Pull them to the mat. Bonk grabs Emrys immediately, but MintyClovers playing on defense, protecting the leader. Dragon suplex! Tossing MintyClovers up and over his shoulders. Now Dragthulu trying to maybe to separate MintyClovers from Emrys. As I said before, they try to separate and take down. Which is a very smart maneuver, especially when you want to get some pins. Remove the other component from the team. Bonk is just relaxing as Emrys has to make her way all the way around the ring. Referee wasn't paying attention. I said don't stop, or don't blink, you might miss something, and obviously the ref blinked. Spinning Bonk around, maybe looking for something. Bonk reverses it, though. Sidewalk slam onto the floor. Bonk has Emrys in a precarious situation. The tag team champions look like they might be in trouble. Sending Beeps and Emrys into the ring. Bonk super kick to the chest. What the fuck was that? That was beautiful. Goes for the cover. 1-2 championship. Nearly new champion. Emrys might have been able to break it up, but it was almost a new champion if MintyClovers didn't kick out. Bonk grabbing MintyClovers' arm again, targeting the cybernetic arm of MintyClovers. Emrys with a reverse neck breaker. Trying to get away from Bonk. Rolling to the outside with MintyClovers. Half and half again, just dumping her on her head on the concrete. Dragthulu's got the kendo stick. Seemed to be the most effective with weapons so far. Though I say that, commentators curse with a swing and a miss. MintyClovers looking for something, but Bonk countered it. Follow-away slam, follow-away toss. And now Emrys has the kendo stick in hand. Over the back of the head of Dragthulu. Bonk playing a little bit of goalie. Emrys trying to fight off both of the icons. But the 2-on-1 is getting a bit much for her. MintyClovers coming out. The cavalry has returned, but sent back into the ring. As Bonk and Dragthulu continue to try and isolate Emrys Morgana. Bonk going into the ring, though. Looking for a powerbomb. Oh, God, Tombstone. Tombstone positioning. Sit down Tombstone on the outside. Referee's not paying attention. And neither is MintyClovers. Kick out of 2. Referee took 50 years. Referee's got to hurry up, man. Double choke bomb by MintyClovers. Onto the unset up table. Emrys with the kick, busting open Dragthulu. Someone else over there got busted open, but I didn't see it. Emrys going for a cover. What's a red referee? Way too out of position. 2. Kick out nearly retaining the championship. I don't know what the referees are doing here, but we might have to see if there's some sort of collusion. As I say that again, Tombstone to Emrys, but referee's counting the other pin. 2. No, kick out of 2. Dragthulu thought that maybe that was the end for the partner. Doesn't decide to pin Emrys, who's already on the ground. That might have just costed them the championship. Not taking that opportunity, but we'll see. That was a big risk. Wanting to make sure that his partner is okay. Kendo stick in hand, once again knocked out. Bonk, oh my God! Onto the concrete, I think. We might see new champions. Kick out of 2. Emrys just getting dumped on her head constantly. I said target the head of the snake. I didn't mean that literally. Bonk's got that power bomb once again onto the apron. Spinning her back into it. An elevated something. I don't know what she's doing. She's spinning Dragthulu around, and Emrys now just letting out her emotions, beating the horse's face. Beating Bonk like a dead horse. Snapmare from Dragthulu, continuing to punish the head. Russian leg sweep. Hooks him in for a hemlock on the floor. Bonk could tap. Bonk could very much tap right here as Dragthulu taking the long way around. Bonk could tap. I don't think Dragthulu knows where they are. Oh, natural 1. Natural one from MintyClovers to Dragthulu. Bonk fights back, just barely hooks the leg. 1, 2. No, the tag team almost retained the championship. Sledgehammer to the gut. Backbreaker. Dragon. Oh, and pinfall from Bonk. Roll up. 2. Kick out. 1, 2. Kick out. No, a double kick out by the champions. German suplex to Emrys. Another sit down tombstone. MintyClovers down. 1, 2. Kick out at 2. MintyClovers will not say die. Swinging neck breaker. And Bonk is taking it to Emrys. Emrys might tap. Submission applied. German, or either German or Dragon suplex. I didn't quite see it, but Emrys might tap here. That would be that would tank her her ego a bit. Super kick. And the handspring elbow drop. The champions are in trouble. I feel like at any point they could get taken down. The 2-on-1 assault to Dragthulu now. Big kick to the big head kick by Emrys. 2 Dragthulu to the challenger. Kick out of 2. Emrys telling the, oh my god, rolling thunder. Emrys telling the referee to hurry up the count. Spinning Bonk around again. Backbreaker once more. Drag following. Back to the outside. A knee strike to the gut. Enziguri by Bonk. This is literally anybody's game. Anybody's opportunity to win the championship. Black hole slam by Dragthulu. MintyClovers is a little bit in the way here. Kick out of 2. I think Bonk might have wasted the ref's time a little bit, gotten in the way, but MintyClovers running power slam. Big boot. MintyClovers stands tall. Rolling up by Dragthulu, though. Could this be enough? Referee out of position. 1, 2 to take away the championship. No, kick out of 2. Big boot avoided. Saves. Bonk saves Dragthulu. Putting them on that metal grate. Russian leg sweep. Maybe looking for the hemlock again. Dragthulu can tap. Dragthulu can tap. No, I don't think she has it locked in all the way. Dragthulu puts the shoulder, gets it over the shoulder. 2. Dragthulu and Bonk are the new tag team champions. La Primera has been dethroned. The second ever tag team champions. Dragthulu and Bonk defeat La Primera. But will they have a longer run? The second ever tag team champions, as we'll move on to the Icon Division Championship next. All right, it is time for the Icon Division Championship match. And it will be between Greg and FlairZero. Greg won the #1 contenders tournament for Flair's championship. And it looks like he's got in his corner one of the members of the coalition, a bear. His best friend, I assume, a great friend to Garreth. They look all business. Greg was in the triple threat with BA Tycho, and it took BA Tycho and Greg to take down TheSleepyPengu in the triple threat, and Greg was able to get the pinfall, meaning he's the #1 contender, and having another coalition member in his corner might just be exactly what he needs to pick up the win against the champion, FlairZero. But of course, FlairZero's got the cavalry of his own, his tag team partner and partner in life. GlitchyBasturds is accompanying him to his corner, and someone that's one of the only people that probably have the same height as the bear. But FlairZero, one of the more dominant champions in MPW history, the second longest reigning champion in MPW, a total of 75 days as champion. Just breaking over the halfway mark to catching up to Zarataro, who had it for, I believe, 140 days. FlairZero defended his championship last at Divisions. On the newly crowned one half of the tag team champions, Bonk cashed in his golden opportunity when Flair wasn't expecting it against a match he lost to Rize. And then he defended the championship. Can he defend it here tonight against Greg, knowing that the coalition is in his corner? And of course, Greg wants to pick up. This is Greg's first ever Icon Division Championship match. This is the first Icon Division Championship that the Coalition will bring back. And he wants to set a good example for his Coalition partner, Blueness, who is in the Openweight, or who's in the Idol Division Championship next, the #1 contender for the Idol Division Championship. Crossbody off the top rope. The bear was startled by that one. Greg is a little bit of an enigma, completely. You don't know what to expect. He's truly a dark horse when it comes to MPW. You don't know what he's capable of, and if he's just gonna, like, somehow pop up and win. Covers Greg for the 1 count. Having support in your corner can be so helpful. Like I said, exactly what I said. You never know what to expect. Greg grabbing Flair's legs with his own, pulling him into a pinfall. If Flair's not careful, German suplex. Greg could just easily steal the championship right from under him. Well, this champion has been a completely new version of Flair, bouncing his head off all the turnbuckles. It's been a completely different version of Flair. Big boot, big bicycle kick. One that's able to improvise a little bit more. Inzaguri a little bit off the mark, off the ropes, flying forearm. Finds his mark. Clothesline blocked by Greg. This would be an absolute massive win for Greg. Someone that bumps him. Someone that came from out of nowhere, picking up the biggest title in the Icon Division. Pulling on the neck, squeezing at the head of Flair. Rolls him over. Greg's got Flair back up. Sends him up and over. Gonna try and send him to the floor to meet Glitchy, but Flair, like his laundry, leaves him to dry. Off the top, double axe handle, crowns him. Goes for the cover again. 1. Get a 1. We'll have to see what these two in the corner, if these two in the corner will end up involving themselves in this match. Of course, they're not allowed to physically get involved, but verbally, people are not so unfamiliar. Clothesline. The Greg Nation behind Greg as he's fueled with energy, coursing through his veins once again on the champion. Greg has been getting in some good offense on the champion. If Flair's not careful, he could lose his title. Forearm sends Flair to the corner. Goes for shoulders first. Into the turnbuckle, just rams his foot across the jaw. Glitchy enthusiastic about the violence that she is witnessing. Combo breaker! Puts him to sleep in the corner. Of course, there are rope breaks, meaning that Flair's got to move Greg away from the ropes. We haven't seen that all night except for the first match. Kick out of 2. And that coming into play, so you might have forgotten about it. Going for something. Greg! Ooh, the running knee! Back and forth. Flair's got him up on his shoulders. Sends him into the corner. Bounces him off the turnbuckle. One more time. And out from the corner with a little power bomb. Holds the legs up. His shoulders are down. Greg gets that shoulder up barely. Double stomp. And another knee strikes him. For someone like Greg, he wants to bring that championship home to the Coalition after BA Tycho basically gave it to him, gave him this opportunity. Off the rope, Enziguri, middle rope. Middle rope springboard Enziguri. Greg going up and over the top rope. What is Greg thinking from up here? Obviously, his plans have changed. As Greg gets Flair up for the Gregening! The Gregening! The Gregening to Flair for the championship! Kick out at 2! I don't know if Flair has underestimated Greg or if Greg is just this powerful, but we could see a new champion and the Greg Nation is fired up. Flair's back into the ring. Leg lariat! Caught by Greg. Once again, going to the springboard leg kick. Getting on top of the champion. Flair is looking like a floundering fish out there. Oh, as I say that, though, commentators curse the forearms blasted into the face of Greg. And now Greg is being turned over for the Boston Crab. Very close to the ropes, though. But we could see a tap-out finish. Greg is in trouble. This is not a comfortable position that you want to be in. Greg rolling him over. Flips the champion. Oh, gets his shoulders down. Kick out of 1. Flair was not having it. Forearms pushing Flair into the ropes. Sends Flair off the ropes. Spears the ref. The ref got in the way. Greg had it, but the ref got in the way. A miscalculation from Greg could very well have cost him the match. The referee is out. The referee is finally getting back. And right at the perfect time as the sleeper hold is locked in on Flair. Flair could pass out or tap. No jawbreaker. Greg could have been the new champion, but he speared the wrong guy. Sending Greg off the ropes. Bumps him. Below 0. Covers Greg. 1. The referee is injured. 2. Kick out of 2. The referee looking dazed still. That is a senior official for you. Still fighting it. Ducks it. Catches his leg and sweeps him for that drop kick. A beautiful combination by Flair. Craig nearly had it. Spinning back fist a little bit too short. Is able to still capitalize on the situation. Knee strike. And improvised knees. Greg going up the top again. We saw him earlier go to the top rope, but thought against it. Off the top, elbow drop. Nobody's home. This might have given Flair just enough time to... Oh, rope break! Greg, like I said earlier, grabs the ropes and saves his shot at the championship. Below 0! I think that might have just been it for Greg. 2, 3. His third title defense, FlairZero. FlairZero celebrating with Glitchy. Still the Icon Division champion. As we'll move on to the next match of the night. It is time for the main event of the evening. The Idol Division Championship is on the line. And I have to say quickly, in the last match I said that Flair has held the championship for 75 days. I was incorrect. It's 105, I believe. But our number one contender that worked their way, nobody really saw Blueness potentially winning. But obviously, the man in his corner, or the man in her corner, saw all the potential in Blueness. That's B.A. Tycho. Much like Flair and Greg had someone in their corner, it looks like the second half of the coalition are here for the championship, and it does not look like B.A. Tycho's very pleased with Greg's performance. Can B.A. Tycho's good little soldier, Blueness, pick up the win against the longest reigning Idol Division champion in history, Rize? I mean, could this be unnecessary pressure for Blueness with having B.A. Tycho in the corner, or do they have something planned? As well as you have to take in consideration that the longest reigning Idol Division champion, 245 days as champion, she is never alone. The Shogunate are always just a couple of steps behind the self-proclaimed Panda Archon herself, Rize. Aza, Naza, and Ayasu. The left and the right hand of the Shogunate. And arguably, some of the main reasons why Rize is still champion. We saw some faction warfare between the Shogunate and the Coalition, and it did not go well in the Coalition's favor, not picking up a single win in those matches. But this is for the championship, this is for all the marbles, and we know that Rize, like Gollum with the ring, is not going to let that thing go. The most prestigious title in the Idol Division, the Idol Division Championship. This is Blueness's first ever shot at the Idol Division Championship. It did not go well for Greg, but will Blueness do it? Blueness has not held a championship in MPW. Blueness has only ever won the Ultimate Openweight Tournament and did not win the championship off of that match that she earned for the Openweight Championship. This is basically like her second title shot, I think. She might have had more Openweight Championship matches, but I'm not quite sure. Rize handing the championship to our senior official. We had to get a whole different referee out here for this match after our last referee got speared by Greg. The Idol Division Championship. Blueness versus Rize. To get to this point. Oh, dropkick straight out of the gate. To get to this point, Blueness had to beat Tyranno Maximum, Draven, and Rocky and Ayasu in the finals. Spinning back kick. Hooks the leg. Blueness, Northern Light suplex. Though I will say, unlike Greg, Blueness is one of the more athletic athletic people in the Shogun, or not the Shogun, in the Coalition. So you never really know what to expect from her. She kind of can come out of anywhere. German suplex for the championship, but way too early to call it. Blueness was one of the people that B.A. Tycho scouted just based off of her athleticism alone. Blueness going to the top rope, splash, but nobody's home. Taking risks a little bit early. I mean, if you're going to take risks, might as well take them early before it's too late. Butterfly takeover by the champion. You can't take anything away from Rize. She has held the championship longer than anybody else. Single arm power bomb. Over the top rope cannonball. What the hell is Ayasu and Azanaza doing? They can, I mean, I was gonna say they can't get physical with Blueness risking the disqualification of Rize, but I have to remind you and myself of the champion's advantage. Something that Blueness might have to focus on, because if Rize gets counted out or disqualified, Rize does not lose the championship. So that's something Blueness has to take into consideration, and the Shogunate might have attempted to disqualify Rize early to keep the championship. It is a title defense. It's just not a championship, or it's not a match-winning idea, but it will defend your title. As Rize is showing that she's willing to spend as much time as she wants on the outside of the ring. Blueness going to go inside the ring. Rize following at 7. Blueness saying that figuratively firing the kill shot. But I wouldn't be so hasty as Rize gets the cover. And now goes to the headbutts. I mean, this has been all Rize out the gate. Blueness hasn't been able to get too much offense off. Of course, commentators curse for Rize. Kick to the head. Blueness going up top, but Rize already back up to their feet. Big punch just kind of barely connects, but still takes down Rize. I don't think they got quite all of it, but it was effective enough. And a spine buster by Blueness. Ayasu once again getting into the face of Blueness. I mean, that was one of the members of the triple threat that Blueness won. Electric chair drop. And of course, these talking heads are going to become more and more of a difficulty for Blueness. You have to try to just not get distracted. But of course, Ayasu and Azanaza masters at getting under the skin. Blueness looking to try and get into that middle ropes. Inverted DDT. Rize using that distraction perfectly, and just the momentum has shifted. Big boot. Keeping Blueness down. Boots to the gut. Spinning power bomb. And a split-legged moonsault to the Blue Vampire. Rize nearly defending the championship. I mean, B.A. Tycho, you can't really tell what he's thinking under that mask, but I know B.A. Tycho's probably not that happy. Rize getting through the middle ropes, trying to grab Blueness, but Blueness effectively knocking Rize off the ropes, gonna follow her to the outside. Or off the apron, rather, not the ropes. Sending Rize back into the ring. Blueness, ooh, grabbing her. Double stomp as she rolls her right over into a double stomp. Into a neck breaker. And now Azanaza is sharing some words with Blueness. Wrath of God moving her away from the ropes. The champion using the distraction again. I mean, there's a reason that she's the longest reigning Idol Division champion in history. And a spear, no! Blueness blocks the spear onto the top rope. Blue Moon! Rize's a little bit close to the ropes, though. 1, 2 to champion. Kick out at 2. Blueness nearly had it. Through all the distractions. Nearly catching the championship, or capturing the championship. Rize gets the submission hold. Very close to the ropes, and we could see Blueness tap. We haven't seen a tap out all night. As I hear Azanazu Ayasu rummaging around in the background. Yes, they threw in a chair, distracting the referee for a moment. Blueness trying to grab the ropes. Again gets caught by Rize. Drop kick to the floor. Landing on the concrete. Rize go to the top. Oh my god, that could not have felt good for either of those two. Receiving or giving. Chop. Overhand chop right in front of the French Canadian commentator's table. Northern Light suplex. Working over the legs of Rize. Once again, Blueness is wanting to keep track of the count for the ref. Drop kick to the champion. Double stomp at the 5. And now gonna bounce the knee off the concrete. Blueness gets in at 7, but wants to break the count. Rize's looking dazed on the floor. Double stomp kick. Rights and a chop and another right and a spinning back kick. Rize is looking drowsy. As I say that, the champion gets Blueness back in the ring. Blueness was looking for something but got slapped out of it. Rize, arm drag. Rize backing up into the corner. A spear this time connecting. In the center of the ring to retain the championship. Blueness kicks out. Rize is looking to finally put that final nail in the coffin. Finally, Blueness had it scouted. Inside leg kicks. Blueness is looking for something as the Shogunate cheer from the corner. Rize fighting out of the corner, getting back onto her feet. Back kick. Fisherman suplex. No. Northern Light reversal. Blueness maybe going back up top. She is. Rize's back up onto her feet. Drop kick. Ooh, a little bit too short. That miscalculation could cost her the match. Every little miscalculation, misstep could be the difference maker in whether you win or lose. Once again, Blueness was thinking about what she was potentially wanting to do. Ayasu getting on the apron. Blueness back up. Sending her off the ropes. Arm drag. Rize's looking wobbly. Maybe thinking that that's just enough. And it is. Rize looked delirious, and it just might have been a battle of attrition for the championship. The Coalition coming up empty-handed with Rize's 6th title defense. Running away with it. The gold stays with Rize at MPW presents As Good as Gold. I was your host, Masu Pro Wrestlington, and I will see you guys next week. Yeah, next week on Thursday. I'll catch you guys later.